Double trouble is brewing to burst forth like a volcano. In the heart of a nation scarred by the betrayal of its revolutionary dreams, the voices of Zimbabweans' forgotten liberators rise like a storm. Once heroes of the liberation struggle, they now stand as fiery critics, decrying the rot of corruption, nepotism, and fascism that has consumed the leadership they fought to empower. With the weight of history and the fury of the people betrayed, they deliver a scathing indictment on a regime that has turned its back on justice, freedom, and the dignity of citizens. This is not just a call to action, it is a reckoning, a battle cry for a nation on the brink of reclaiming its soul. To know more about this story, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Fraud News channel. I'm your host, Boss Robert. Firstly, I would like to thank you for supporting me during 2024. We have reached almost 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate your support in 2025. We are destined to do great things together, and to those who continue to support this channel, there are great prizes and giveaways in store. So keep in touch and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out. Back to the story. Before we go any further, let us first watch the following video so that we can establish a context to this story.
Emerson Mnangagwa, on assumption of power, he showed that he was a man who had learned nothing and forgotten nothing. He forgot the root of his power on day one, and instead of correcting the mistakes of former President Robert Mugabe, he instead went about to prove to all of us that Mugabe was actually a saint. He deliberately sidelined the very people who fought on his side, and instead embraced the thieves, conmen, and heartless killers in his government. He systematically targeted paid war veterans who stood for social justice in various arms of government and replaced them with crooks. This is very evident in his cabinet, which is now staffed with non-performing and deceitful ministers. It's no secret that they were picked because they either belong to his clan or are benefactors to his family through his children. War veterans were sidelined, and the majority of them are now destitute and beggars. It is big coincidence that at the time our peers were being removed from influential positions in government, the army and security sector, we witnessed an increase in the days of army generals. We wonder. We were and are still worried about these deaths, which we believe are linked to Mnangagwa's blue-eyed boy, Owen Muda, who was once Minister of State Security. Right. Mnangagwa who sought to protect the Constitution. He has failed to protect it. He has violated it left, right, and center for personal gain, and with the desire to entrench one center of power from party to country. These maneuvers must be resisted by all right-thinking Zimbabweans. On the day he took power from Mugabe, he declared that the voice of the people is the voice of God. Yet at every turn, he has violated the voice of the people. In 2023, the people voted. Yet after their vote, he disregarded their voice and teamed up with that charlatan called Sengezo Shabangu to recall legitimate representatives of the people to replace them with his own stooges. This must be stopped. We know that the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Jacob Mutenda, supported this constitutional violation because he had been promised the vice presidency. Right? Like Mugabe, this guy wants to hold on to power beyond his term limits, then pass it to his children, as if Zimbabwe is his fiefdom. Let's take note that he has already made his children the de facto leaders of this country, appointing the ministers and to strategic boards. In a nation of 16 million, how is it possible that only the Mnangagwas have the capacity to lead in almost all strategic pillars of the economy? No, this can't be right. Some young ones only have now started to push an agenda to illegally extend his term to 2030. And instead of dealing with this mischief, which has the capacity of throwing our country into disquiet, he has pretended as if this agenda is outside his interest. We want to remind those behind this move that we are not fools, and they must not see us as such. How do you claim not to be involved when your ministers appointed under your hand issue official statements in support of this illegal and treacherous 2030 agenda? We as war veterans are against this 2030 agenda. We can't disrespect the voice of 90% of those who voted yes towards term limits. No, we can't allow that. We are also concerned that since assuming power, Mnangagwa is a neglected civil servant. We are now earning slave wages. Our men and women in uniform have lost their dignity, even in the eyes of the public, due to state poverty. Government shells money collected from taxpayers to corrupt 10 entrepreneurs. Lecturers at our universities are now being paid like cardinals, despite their high qualifications. Surely, this is not what we fought for. This is not the Zimbabwe we envisioned when we took up arms. We understand that Mnangagwa does not feel the pain of all veterans because he's not one himself. He was invited to the struggle by his in-laws after staying in Zambia for nearly 11 years following his release from prison. He is a beneficiary of nepotism. Saka 11 years this is garage. It is clear to us that Mnangagwa is failed. He is not fit to run this country, and his time to go is now. We ask him to go peacefully. If he refuses to take heed of this advice, we have no option but to ask the people of Zimbabwe to deal with a rogue president in line with the constitution.
War veterans and the generality of Zimbabweans have not benefited and are not benefiting from what they fought for. These guys are now surrounded by a brigade of bootlickers of legendary pedigree. Bootlickers. And if these bootlickers, they see no evil. And they'll go to any extent glorifying the devil. That's why they now talk of 2030. In fact, they are being mean with their calculations. They actually want him to be there forever. And they declare this country a one-party state. And they lead this country the Nikolai Shish's way. In this century, Zimbabwe is all brains. This is a country with a high literacy rate. And as such, we cannot be fooled by clueless, arrogant, and corrupt leadership. We can't. And this must be resisted with the full force. This must be resisted with people's power. And if there is no one who is going to defeat or conquer people's power, you can fool yourselves. The world has been full of dictators who thought they were invincible. The Emperor Bokassa from Central African Republic, the Idi Aminis of this world. Name them. But they have all gone under. And they can never be an exception. It is his time to live peacefully or otherwise. He is not invincible. He thinks he has got support. But they are lying. These are criminals. The day he is out, they will start to celebrate his departure. I thank you.
The speech paints a vivid and dramatic picture of betrayal, corruption, and the resilience of a nation yearning for justice. It is a fiery condemnation of Zimbabwe's leadership under President Emmerson Mnangagwa, delivered by disillusioned war veterans who once fought for the country's liberation. With passion and urgency, they recount how the dreams of independence, freedom, economic emancipation, and justice have trembled under the weight of a regime that mirrors the very oppression they sacrificed so much to overthrow. They speak with Russia's indignation of those betrayed, accusing the president of sidelining war veterans who bled for the country, replacing them with a network of cronies and opportunists who exploit Zimbabwe's resources for personal gain. This cabal of enablers, they claim, glorifies their leader like an emperor, propping him up as he drags the nation towards a one-party state. They denounce the leadership's attempts to extend its rule indefinitely, decrying plans to manipulate constitutional limits while impoverishing the people and degrading their voices. The veterans paint a haunting image of a nation on the brink, a land soaring interest rate, eroding freedoms, leaders obsessed with power at any cost. They invoke memories of fallen dictators throughout history, warning Mnangagwa that his time is running out. No dictator is invincible, they declare, invoking the ghost of oppressive rulers who believe themselves untouchable, only to be cast down by the will of the people. With defiant resolve, they call for a national uprising against corruption and tyranny, urging the citizens of Zimbabwe to reclaim their dignity and their future. They demand that Mnangagwa step down peacefully, for they foresee the jubilation that will erupt the day his regime crumbles. It is a crescendo of determination. They remind him and his enablers that people's power cannot be conquered. Zimbabwe, they vow, will rise again, not as a nation enslaved to its past, but as a beacon of freedom and hope. What can we make out of this? This dramatic account encapsulates the fervent frustration and determination of a disillusioned people who feel betrayed by a leadership expected to embody the ideals of liberation and democracy. It is a scathing critique of Zimbabwe's governance, accusing it of corruption, nepotism, and fascism, while invoking the legacy of the liberation struggle to inspire solidarity and action. Through powerful rhetoric, it denounces the betrayal of the revolutionary vision that promised justice, freedom, and economic emancipation for all. Instead, the current leadership is depicted as perpetuating the very oppression it once vowed to eradicate, fostering discontent and anger among all veterans and citizens alike. The narrative highlights the risk of political instability, international scrutiny, and mass mobilization, framing the struggle as a critical battle for justice and accountability. By drawing parallels to the fall of other autocratic regimes, it serves as both a warning and a rallying cry for action, emphasizing the resilience people's power in confronting dictatorship. However, its confrontational tone underscores a double-edged nature of such rhetoric, with the potential of either unifying the nation under a shared cause or exacerbates division within society. The nation's future now hinges on how Zimbabwean leaders, opposition, and citizens respond to this impassioned plea to reclaim democratic aspirations and revive ideals of liberation. I would like to know your thoughts on this story. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. God bless you.